Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. and all year long on the Dale Jr. Download, we have been working with Lionel Racing and promoting and showcasing the ultimate racing collector. We've had fans send in their videos, photos, trying to win the monthly contests. And we've had a lot of fun seeing everybody's collection, and I've talked about mine. And today I want to show you a little bit of that. We're gonna have a little series here where we'll show you a little bit about what I've been collecting over the years. And yeah, so let's get started. I think the number one piece that I have in my collection is this car right here. And this was given to me by Lionel. It was a gift from them. And so let's take a look. It's the raced version of the 2014 Daytona 500 winner. And I believe that's some real confetti from Victory Lane that day. I can't say thank you enough to Lionel for the gift of the car, but I'm very thankful to have it. I have a lot of my dad's diecasts. It's hard to pick favorites, I'll be honest with you, but here's two that are really special to me and unique. While a lot of you know that the 1981 Wrangler car, that is my favorite design, I guess, of my dad's that he raced, but these two cars right here. Let's take a look at this one right here. This is like the 1980 championship winning Monte Carlo that Dad raced at Ontario, and I actually have the real car that ran that race. We have it over at Junior Motorsports, and I think it's so funny. On the back bumper, in these white letters, it says the Wrangler, and it's like they went to the local hardware store to get these letters and put that on the back of the car, but just because it doesn't match anything else going on, so it was kind of like a last minute addition for that race weekend. And then we have this car right here. One of the more criticized, actually, paint schemes that Dad raced. Nobody really appreciated this car. This is what Dad drove in 1984. He opened the season at Daytona and Richmond with this design, driving for Richard Childress, and he still had the number 3 on the side of the car that Ricky Rudd had used when the car was sponsored by Piedmont the 2 previous years. And so we don't have the iconic number 3 that we know so well today. And this design was actually 86th after a couple race weekends. I guess Dad and the rest of the team just did not dig it. I love it. I love how weird it is and how like got the yellow back and the yellow hood, just a lot going on. But they would end up changing this and going to a more mostly blue car for the remainder of the season, and it was dubbed the Blue Goose. A lot of color, a lot of great color in this car. And no, I guess Dad and Richard didn't really particularly care for it, but that makes it kind of rare and fun for me. All right, in front of me now is the Cup version of the Junior Motorsports entry from the Daytona 500. Justin Allgaier drove the number 40 Travelers Risky Chevrolet to a top 10 finish. And I'm gonna tell you, I was involved pretty heavily in the design of this car. Now, I didn't come up with the concept, of course. Ryan Williams and our great team at Junior Motorsports always do a great job really kind of coming up with the concept. But I was in the sort of day-to-day conversations about little tweaks and changes. And so I have some vested interest not only in the actual entry itself because of the race team, but the design, the way the car looks. And I really was proud of the race car and how the car looked when we rolled it off the trailer at the racetrack. And to go there and get a top 10 finish in our first try was truly a dream come true. And I think the reality of walking into this room and seeing this diecast in my case is that daily reminder that we did that happened in our lives. So it's fun to be able to see it, honestly. And who knows, man, maybe we'll have some more Cup diecast down the road, but this one's always going to be super special. All right, so I wanted to show everybody my collection. I'm an avid collector of diecasts, and we're basically up in a little library that I have in my house, and I've gotten a couple of cases over the years and have been filling them up, so let's talk about it. So this is the first case I wanted to show you. This is basically Dale Earnhardt Sr. Cup Racing. This car right here is pretty neat. This number 44. A lot of people probably don't know about this car. This was a car that Dad drove at Metrolina Motor Speedway. It was a Grand National race, not sanctioned by NASCAR, but you had Cale Yarborough, Richard Childress, James Hilton, all the Cup drivers came out and raced, and Dad was allowed to run this particular car owned by a gentleman who was racing in the Cup Series back then, and he competed that day and ended up racing with some of the Cup regulars. That's kind of his very first unofficial Cup start at Metrolina when it was paved and promoted by Ned Jarrett. So this is Dad's Cup case. Come on over here. This case right here is Dad's Xfinity Busch Sportsman case. And this one's my favorite. These are all the cars that he raced in the 70s. These are cars he owned and raced at a Ralph Earnhardt shop right next to Mamaw's house in Kannapolis. And each one, obviously, I mean, probably every race he went to the racetrack with a unique sponsor, just a local business or company that gave him a couple bucks. And this is Dale Earnhardt when he was trying to make it. This is a pretty cool piece right here. A Ford Falcon, I believe, that Dad ran on the dirt tracks in the semi-modified series at Metrolina when Ralph was still alive. They both would go on at certain weekends during 1971-72, and both would win the feature events in the super modified and the sportsman class. So those must have been some pretty cool times. I have a small little collection of Ralph Earnhardt cars. This is actually a car owned by Richard Lee Petty, the 188 and the 88. Ralph Earnhardt ran a handful or a dozen races for the Pettys, and this is the car. This is what the car looked like, and Richard has actually signed the windshield of those. That's a model car of Ralph Earnhardt that he raced in the Cup Series, actually, that Ralph Earnhardt made a few. This case right here is a bit of an oddball case, kind of a catch-all for a little bit of everything. And I'm gonna get pretty descriptive right here. Here's a couple of models. This is Phil Parsons. He flipped this car at Talladega, an incredible crash. For me, this was very impressionable in my childhood. But I love that paint scheme, that sort of flame, that green flame, and that Skull Bandit paint scheme. This is a car that they made for me for Isla when she was born. Welcoming her into the world, it says. It's pretty funny. Nicole doesn't have a diecast, so we got to be quiet about that. And then just, the Dale Jr. download car down here. And then Dirty Mobile sponsored a Cup car. This was a cool diecast we had to get. And in this row, here is a favorite paint scheme. We all got our favorite all-time paint schemes. Well, here's one I bet you didn't think I liked, or you don't probably see that often, but this is the Chameleon-sponsored number 90 car of Dick Brooks. I mean, I don't know what it is. I love this car. The blue to white fade, and then you had the number, the orange to yellow fade. I just can't get enough of all those colors mixing together. I thought that was one of the coolest race cars on the racetrack and easy to find. So I talked about my appreciation for the Grey Ghost, and I've actually ran some throwback Grey Ghost paint schemes in my time. But the 28 car over the years with Waddell Wilson and Robert Yates, it was just always the car to beat, all the way through to when Davey Allison would drive it and beyond, really. But I have an affinity for it. I have an appreciation for it. I have a small collection honoring its history here. And even when Benny Parsons drove it, a couple of Pontiac Grand Dams right here. But I thought the 28 car was just something special and always fast. So I was a big Cale Yarborough fan too, so that helps. I need more cases to put more cars in. Got my Dale Jr. call right here. A lot of people say, you ain't got one of these. I do. So yeah, we're having fun, always collecting, and I'm hoping you enjoyed a little glimpse into my own personal collection. And yeah, I hope you guys keep sending yours in as well as we do the Ultimate Collector Series next year. We're all adding to our collections all the time, and right now you can get free US shipping by using the code PLAYOFFS at LionelRacing.com for purchasing any of the current NASCAR Cup Playoff drivers. That's code PLAYOFFS, free US shipping at LionelRacing.com.